10th episode spectacular brought to you by robocalls. Feeling lonely? Need someone to talk to? Try picking up one of the 1,000 robocalls you get on a daily basis. You'll never feel lonely again. You know as well as I do, they're going to keep calling no matter how many times you ask them to take you off their list, so you might as well make the most of it by forging a strong relationship with them. Where else are you going to find a friend that's never too busy to call? Whether it's a cable provider, credit card company, or a scammer taking advantage of frail elderly minds, you can always depend on robocalls to cheer you up in your time of need. Use promo code BRASH3000 to add an additional 20% to your wire transfer to that Nigerian prince in need. And remember, robocalls. You can't fucking hide from us, you twat. Well, that was an aggressive slogan. Anyway, my name is Josh. I'm here with my best friend Brandon. I'm excited for the 10th episode spectacular. What is on the docket for today, B?
Oh my God! Here we are.
Here we are.
I mean, this is it. This is what dreams are made of. You know, this is what they talk
Nobody
about.
thought we could get here.
When you get into the sports podcast game, this is what you're thinking of. You're thinking about, if we could just get to that 10th episode, we've made it. We're in the clear.
Yep.
We're,
absolutely.
Nothing's going to stop us now. Nothing.
They tried to hold us back. They did everything they could to get us off the air, but we fucking made it. We are still here, baby. So we got a big show planned. We've got a big show planned today to celebrate.
Spectacular 10th episode underway right now. We actually have some special guests from what I'm hearing. Anderson's been telling me right before we kick things off that
that's right.
Apparently we got some big names joining us. Big names on the docket.
Yep.
Of course, we're going to catch up with what's going on in the NBA playoffs as we filled out our brackets on our last episode. So we'll get a little caught up as to how our predictions are panning out thus far. We'll get into, of course, like always, some NFL dramatics, and we will touch on the NFL draft. Apparently, we have a special guest joining us for that as well. We shall see.
Yeah.
And many more topics leading into, of course, yet again, parlay recap and this weekend's parlay. So
don't forget the top 10 moments. The top 10 moments from the Brash Sport Podcast, as voted on by you, the fans. So I'm very excited to get into that. I'm excited to get into all of it, honestly. There's a lot to dive into. So what are we starting with? Some NBA playoff action?
Yeah, I think we should just get started with the NBA playoffs and see how things are panning out so far. Like you said, see how our bracket predictions have been turning out. I know that so far mine is not looking too hot, but hey, technically every team's still in it, so a lot of things can still happen. We might have somebody that wants to hop in and give their opinion and help us out with this segment. Is that what I'm hearing?
He can't make it.
Oh, no.
Well, I got some bad news.
Oh, man.
Magic Johnson was not able to join us today. I guess he had better things to do or something. So that's all right. That's all right. We're not going to let it get us down. We're going to plow forward. We've got plenty of other amazing guests lined up. So, Magic, we'll catch you on the next one. And we can run through our brackets and talk about it without him. So, let's get into it. I've got my bracket right here, the official bracket, handwritten.
Mine is two pieces. Two pieces.
You got two,
one bracket,
dude.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Always going above and beyond.
That's right.
So the first team in the East, or the first matchup in the East, I should say, is the Heat and Hawks. Right now, the Heat are leading that series 2-1. The Hawks have been putting up a decent fight most games, but the Heat they look great. I'm actually really worried about them. I know you have them going deeper in the playoffs than I do, but I think they could easily get to the Eastern Conference Finals, where I know you have them.
Mm-hmm. That I do.
I have them losing to the Sixers, who right now are looking really good. to round out their series. They're up 3-0 against the Raptors, and actually there's a game going on right now as we're recording. So as of right now, the score is with 2 minutes left in the game, the Raptors look like they're going to pull it off. They're winning 104-91. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have a 3-1 series on our hand. I had the Sixers winning in 6, so that could be coming true. B, I know you had the Raptors in this one, right?
Whew, I need the Raptors to, come back and come back strong. I need them to win 4 games in a row. Actually, no. Technically, well, yeah. I need them to win 4 games in a row. Yeah.
Correct.
So
yeah.
4 games in a row would bring them to a game 7 victory, which is where I had them. So far, everything is panning out exactly like I predicted. Okay, this is how my thought process works. I was
It's
like,
true.
okay,
You
they're
did
going
say
to go
7
down
games.
3-0, and then they'll come back strong. All right, get themselves together. Let's go, Toronto.
I wonder. I'm going to look that up. Have any teams? Let you start up the next matchup. I'm going to see if any teams have come back from 3-0.
Well, I suppose the next one we'd move on to would be the Milwaukee Bucks matchup. And from what I remember, they just played yesterday, right? They played yesterday against the Bulls. But that one, I have the Bucks winning a 6-game series. They are currently up 2-1 against Chicago, giving them a severe thrashing yesterday. At a winning by a score of 111-81. So, hey, they are our Eastern Conference favorite, and they're doing what we thought they would do. We did think the Bulls would get some wins in this one, but hey, go Bucks. Then we're gonna go take a look at. I guess we're looking at the Celtics matchup. Is that right, Josh?
Yeah, the Celtics matchup. They're up 2-0. They're up 2-0 against the Nets. So
they play later today. They play later today. Yeah.
Yeah, they play today. So no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. So basically, what that tells you is the Raptors are in big trouble, or we're witnessing history. And if the Celtics win today, it's basically a done deal. They're up 2-0. They looked great at home. We'll see if it's a different story in Brooklyn, but I wish I had gone with my mid-season gut picks when I said, I was buying the Celtics, selling the Nets, and then I kind of called that right. And then I flip-flopped going into the playoffs because I said the Nets were proving me wrong. They're not the Lakers of the East, like I said. But now it's looking like they might be the Lakers of the East because the Celtics look real strong. They could get Williams back, which is going to get they're going to get even better defensively. Like right now, it's a testament to a younger, faster team just shutting down great offensive players. So that's like the most interesting matchup to me. Because I think the Celtics are just a great young team, and the Nets are obviously they've got the superstars. So fun matchup to watch, and the Celtics are winning. And I like watching teams that are organically grown versus teams that you think like, oh, let's just put a couple good players together and LeBron James, big 3. That trend sucks. It always has sucked, and I want to be over. And the great news is a lot of the teams that are kicking ass this postseason are homegrown, like through the draft, playing team ball teams, not just, well, let's get some really good players. Who are the 3 best players of the league? Let's put them on a team together.
Well, really, I mean, when it comes to that principle, there's only the Nets, right? I mean, or you could say the 76ers also, but who else has been?
Bit.
Who else would
the
you
Lakers?
Put? Yeah, but I'm talking about the playoffs. Fuck the Lakers, they're out. They don't count anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
sure. But if the regular season is a playoff to get into the playoffs, the Lakers are bounced from the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that method is proving to just not really work. And yeah, not many teams that are in the playoffs are doing that, and that's what's so cool. Now the Bulls are a little different. They've got most of their pieces from other places, right? Like DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, who else? The fucking the white guy from the Lakers that plays amazing defense, Alex Caruso.
The white guy from the Lakers, also known as the white guy.
Alex Caruso. They're getting a lot of their pieces from other places. I think Zach LaVine they got from Minnesota too. So, but they're not like superstars. So I don't think it's the same. But I really do like their team as well. Anyway, moving on to the West, where again the teams that are winning are doing it just team ball style. You got the Suns are up 2-1. Now they did just lose Devin Booker for a while, so they need to get him back heading into their next series if they make it out of this one against the Pelicans. I had the Suns in 6 over the Clippers, so shows what the fuck I know. You had the Suns. Did you have the broom out for this one?
I had the Suns in 6 against the Clippers, so I think that one we agreed on. And the Pelicans, man, they're making more of a fight of it than we probably would have expected. Correct? I mean, they got to win. They got to win in Phoenix. So,
yep. No, they're playing great. I don't think that they're going to pull it out, even though the Suns lost Devin Booker probably for the remainder of the series, but still a really fun matchup to watch. So after that, we've got the Mavericks and Jazz, who we both were pretty high on the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Mavericks are leading that one 2-1 right now. Jazz could be in some trouble here.
2-1 with tip-off for game 4 happening right.
Oh, that's right.
Now.
We got to wrap this thing up. Right
now.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining us for the 10th episode spectacular.
Oh God, it's too bad, dude. It's really too bad that Magic Johnson bailed out on us.
I know. We got to fill all this time. We were thinking about asking.
We got to fill all it. Yeah.
I was getting ready. I had a whole list here. Things I wanted to ask Irving Magic Johnson about. Where he thinks some of these younger teams are going. Who's going to win it this year, and in how many games, and of course get in maybe some outside questions regarding the dramatic series on HBO Winning Time, and get his thoughts on what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Jerry West have to say, and in terms of it being complete and utter bullshit, and they want it retracted, whatever the hell that means. It's a goddamn television show.
Total sidebar, but yeah, fuck those guys. It's a dramatic reenactment. Do they not know what that fucking means?
Yeah.
It means they're going to be dramatized. Like, where's the confusion? I don't fucking get it.
It's a television show. They have to obtain viewership, and the way you do that is you always spice up the story, try to make it a little bit more interesting than it really is.
Right.
If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. Okay. I promise.
Yeah, we're talking to you, Jerry West.
When HBO is ready to make the series about the history and origin of Brash Sports, I promise I will not come back and with anger and resentment because I felt like I was misportrayed in any way. You guys portray me any way you feel fit. I just am honored that you would even consider making a series based off of Brash Sports. So we appreciate it. It's in the works right now. That's just breaking news. I wanted to tell everybody that HBO is in the works of making the Brash Sports series coming to HBO Max in 2032. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that.
So all right, continuing with the NBA playoffs. Where are we at, Josh?
We've got we've got the Warriors and Nuggets matchup. The Warriors are dominating that. They're winning 3-0. I think they're going to pull out the fucking brooms. More on that later. And they're just going to sweep these suckers right out of the arena. The Warriors, I think, look better than the Suns right now. I have them matching up in the Western Conference Finals with the Suns moving past them. But if they played right now, there's no way the Suns would hang with the Warriors. The Warriors are so fucking good. Jordan Poole, I fucking said it last week. He is crushing it right now. And they're just, dude, the veterans on that team, they're so experienced. They've got amazing shooters. They're smart. They're well coached. Dude, they're going to be really hard to beat. And I really am hoping for a Suns Warriors Western Conference Final, because I think it'll be the best series of basketball we've seen in a long time. So I'm really hoping for it. And yeah, right now they're up 3-0 on Denver, who I had them going 7 games like a fucking idiot. They're about to fucking bust the brooms out and just sweep those stinky shit Nuggets right out of the fucking arena.
I think
5. That game is tomorrow.
I had 5.
Yeah.
And if those stinky little Nuggets can get their shit together and get one measly win tomorrow afternoon, then I guarantee we're going to see the Warriors seal it up in 5 games. So I might be on track there with a correct prediction. We shall see.
That's a common thing where people think like, oh, they're going to throw the game so they can, win it at home. But they're not going to do that. They're just going to come out fucking guns blazing.
That's a stupid strategy.
It's the worst strategy of all time.
It's terrible.
But all right. So next up, last matchup we got to dive into is the Grizzlies and Timberwolves. Fucking great series so far.
It's good. It's good. I had the Grizz in a sweep, and I even drew a little picture of a broom on my bracket, and it didn't work. It's really shitty. It's really shitty.
Dude, if you had just drawn a better broom, maybe they would have swept them.
But no,
the Grizzlies are only up 2-1. Like, I thought I had it in 5, which is one of the lowest numbers I have in the first round. So I really thought the Grizzlies were going to fucking handle their business, but the T-Wolves look really good. They're going to be really dangerous for years to come. And I wouldn't be shocked if they turn things around and knock the Grizzlies out. That's one that I could see being totally wrong on, and an underdog story that I didn't really see coming playing out. So I wouldn't be shocked if the T-Wolves pull this one out.
They came out swinging hot out of the gate, right, in game 1. Surprised everybody, the T-Wolves I'm referring to. They were able to get the 1-0 lead. They've lost their last 2. The second game, they got humbled. The third game, they actually were in control. That was one that we played a little midweek parlay, a 3-game parlay on, and hit. 3-game parlays so far, better than 6-game parlays. But the T-Wolves had like a 24-point lead, was it, that they blew in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it was. Well, I think it was 24 points with 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Okay.
But that was also their second 24-point lead of the game. So like through 2 quarters, or I think halfway through the second quarter, they were up by 20 points. And then the Grizzlies went on a run right before the half and brought it in closer. And then the third quarter, the T-Wolves just came out fucking swinging. And you're like, oh, shit, the Grizzlies are done for. They're down 24 with 14 minutes to play. And I think the fourth quarter was 37-12. The Grizzlies outscored them. To put a little check mark next to the win column in our midweek unrecorded zero proof of us having parlay, because if you're following along, if you haven't lost faith in our our weekend parlay by now, that would have maybe helped, reassure you a little bit that sometimes we know what the fuck we're talking about. And in picking
It's rare.
Memphis,
It's
it's
rare, but
rare.
there
It's
are
rare.
occasions.
There are occasions. So that was it. So
there-
anyway, that's the bracket. That's the bracket update. I think we talked that to death. I really wish we had a little more expert insight from our friend of the show, Magic Johnson.
Thanks
But
a lot,
there's
Magic.
always next time. He might be saving it up for as we get deeper into the playoffs or even the finals, right? We don't know. I'll text him after the show and see what happened.
Yeah, well, we'll see. At least we have some other special guests still on the docket, waiting in the green room to be,
True.
So
very excited for that.
A lot more to look forward to in this 10th episode spectacular that we have going on right now.
God, you can feel the excitement in the air. It just feels different with that fucking 10th episode.
It's a winning feeling, we feel like, hey,
really
we're
is.
established, we're legit, we're probably going to get 20 views. This episode's probably going to get 20 views, Josh. Just imagine.
God damn, dude.
I know.
Oh, just imagine.
You can smell that money now. Just smell it. It stinks so good. All right. I guess we can turn our attention to our favorite, and that is the NFL. And there's some.
I thought you were going to say baseball.
Oh no, not today. I know. After having Johnny on last week, I feel like maybe I should take a couple steps back on my my abusement of the poor baseball sport. It's I think I've beat that horse to death. Is what I'm saying. Pretty much. I'll bring it back at some point, but right now I have a soft spot for baseball. But that's what happens.
Fair enough.
That's what happens when we have a guest come and join our show. We change our opinions a little bit. They make us see the world differently. Right. Okay, so
right.
Thank you, Johnny, once again for joining us last week. But no, we're moving on to the NFL, and I know there's a couple things you wanted to touch on.
Yeah,
again, all this
stuff happening.
Some little off-season drama right before the NFL draft. You wanted to touch on the Kyler Murray situations going on in Arizona. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to fucking do a deep dive. I just want to point out that...
Nope, we have 10 minutes set aside and go.
Just Josh.
You're on clock.
So, yeah, I mean, there's trade speculations that he wants to get paid early. He removed all the Cardinals stuff on social media. Dude, Kyler Murray, I know you're listening right now. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. All right? I get that you're a really good quarterback. I get that you're hyper talented, but you're losing the respect of the guys in the locker room right now. They're looking at you like a whiny little child, and you need to be a leader in that locker room if you want to get paid. And that's the ultimate goal. That's why you're doing all this bullshit, right? Get over yourself. Play another year on your rookie deal. I get you're a tiny little guy, but maybe don't run so much. Throw the ball more, right? I think he wants to get paid because he's out there running around, and if he takes enough shots, he's gonna miss games because he has missed games because he runs around too much and he's got a little frame. But dude, you're hyper talented. Go be a leader. Go lead, right? You will get paid eventually. Get the fuck over yourself. Live up to that contract?
Is that what it all boils down to right now? Is the money?
Yeah.
Because
he wants an early extension on his rookie deal. And dude, I'm sorry, man. You did good stuff last year, but you've been hurt. Like you're canceling you're blocking Cardinals shit on your Twitter, and Dude, nobody. It's pretty well known that like he's not very well respected in the locker room. There was a weird. AJ Green had a weird press conference where there was like some cryptic shit being said. Like you can just tell it's not a solid sound foundation between the quarterback and the rest of the team, which is what you need, right? You need a Josh Allen, you need a Patrick Mahomes, you need a guy that you go, all right, that's our guy. I'm going to go out there and fight my ass off for him. Kyler Murray thinks he's earned that by now, I guess, by having a nice little highlight reel and getting more wins than anyone expected the Cardinals to get last season. But at the end of the day, dude, you got to fucking prove yourself, prove your worth to get paid your worth. And you're not there yet. And threatening to hold out this season is fucking crazy. I don't think the Cardinals move on from him, but I hate to fucking see it. The world doesn't revolve around you, Kyler Murray. Like, shut the fuck up and play.
Yeah, we touched on this a little bit in our first episode, I think. I think this was.
Did we?
Yeah, I know. It seems like ages
right.
ago. It seems like ages ago.
The first episode spectacular. That's right.
Yep. The inaugural Brash Sports Spectacular podcast episode. But it was a long name.
Yeah,
we had to keep revising it. It was this whole thing.
We had to trim it down. Yeah.
But no, we touched on it because it was new news at the time, and that was when he had scrubbed his social media of anything associated with the Arizona Cardinals. Or like, what the hell is he doing? And my whole thing is the guy hasn't been in the NFL long enough to be able to justify pulling this type of shit. I think you have to be in the league at least 5 years. Then you can start being a whiny little bitch. But he's. Turns out he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to get to the whiny little bitch part of his life, I know. And that's what he's doing.
Get over yourself.
He's not doing himself any favors. The Cardinals aren't going to get rid of him. If anything, he's just going to have to pout and he's going to sit on the sidelines. What's he going to do? Not play? So it will be interesting to see
That'll get you paid.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think in some cases it does, depending on what's in your contract. But some people are going to start pulling the Ben Simmons. Hey, why not just get paid and sit on the bench? Wide receivers this offseason, Josh. The wide receiver market is taken off. Obviously, we had the Devontae Adams news. We had the Tyreek Hill, blockbuster trade that nobody saw coming. And now we have a group of talented NFL wide receivers. Unfortunately, my boy Terry McLaurin is involved in that. They're talking about holding out for the voluntary workouts, which I really don't care if Terry McLaurin's there or not, but
yeah,
it's always a bad sign when you see these guys kind of getting together and colluding and saying, well, I'm going to do this, and you're going to do it too.
Right.
But I do think these guys that are holding out, do deserve better contracts. And, but guys like Deebo Samuel, he is now demanding a trade. So he is already has it set in his mind that he does not want to represent San Francisco 49ers next season. This one kind of came out of nowhere because what happens between the end of the season to April? Or all of a sudden they're like, you know what? Now I want to get the hell out of here. It's like, why didn't you say that right after the season or towards the end of last season? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. I just think it kind of came out of nowhere.
I think it's it seems like it's a relatively new thing. Like we haven't. It seems like this year is way more exaggerated than years past. I think watching guys like, I think Christian Kirk, I saw from Arizona to the Jaguars, got like $80 million or something, right? So if you're Deebo Samuel and they're running the entire offense through you, it seems like, you're like, hey, dude, I'm getting hit a ton because you're putting me in the backfield. I'm doing a million different things. You're using me like a Swiss Army knife here. Like, you guys should pay the shit out of me like those guys are getting paid, right? And that's fine. But yeah, demanding a trade and like going through those many steps to express your lack of happiness with your current situation, it's wild. I mean, and it's happening. Seems like every week there's a new player like demanding a trade or wanting to get out, or it's wild. So I could see them moving on from Deebo Samuel, and I think Deebo Samuel could be used very well in a couple of spots. My two thoughts were I could see him being a perfect fit in New England, just being that Swiss Army knife, go-to receiver, put him anywhere on the field and let him do his thing. They don't have a guy like that. They need a guy like that. You're going to help Mac Jones out tremendously. And Bill Belichick's always going to bring a really solid defense to the table. If you can get some weapons, I mean, you don't have to put up 1 million points a game, but you got to move the ball, right? I think Deebo Samuel's a perfect fit for that. I think if he went to New England, they would be dangerous. The other place I could really see him is in Kansas City, because they got rid of Tyreek Hill. Now they need, some more playmakers. Deebo Samuel matched up with Patrick Mahomes, I think would be really, really fun to watch. But yeah, to touch on like just wide receivers in general, they saw the market explode and they're like, wow, I'm as good as Christian Kirk. I should be getting 80 million or more. But again, I don't know. A contract is a contract, right? Like fucking play your goddamn contract.
That's what
right?
That's my mindset is at what point do the contracts in the NFL altogether just become obsolete,
meaningless? Yeah, obsolete.
Because right. I mean, what's the point? Because they're like, oh yeah, I'll sign that 5 year, 6 year deal. But and by the way, year 3 of this 6 year deal, I'm gonna bitch and complain and demand to get out of here. It's like, no, right. Dude, you signed the fucking deal.
Right.
I mean, there should be a stipulation in every contract that if they want to sign out of the deal and then just be released and not have any more money, they'll after half of their contract, they should be able to do that. The paychecks stop immediately, and you're released, and you can go wherever you want. I bet you then they think differently. The teams I heard that are looking at Deebo, apparently, from the report I just read right before we hopped on, are the Jets, Packers, and Lions. Obviously,
really?
For Deebo's sake, if those were your 3 choices, then you'd have to think, please God, send me to Green Bay. I'd love to see Deebo Samuel in a Green Bay Packers uniform. I think that'd be sick, especially after losing Devontae Adams. They have to replace him, I think, more than the Chiefs have to replace Tyreek Hill, because they got Juju Smith-Schuster over in Kansas City. So at least they do have it.
Yeah.
He's not a Tyreek Hill guy, but he's still, a big-name receiver that can move around. You can put him in many different positions. So true. I frankly think the Packers would get more use out of Deebo than the Chiefs would.
I agree, but I don't think there's any way. I don't think there's any way that the 49ers trade him to the Packers, though. I don't think there's any way, because they know there's 3 teams they're competing with, right? There's 3 teams they're competing with. Tampa Bay, the Rams obviously are in the division, and Green Bay. So, like, why would you send them to one of the 3 teams you're going to have to go through the playoffs to win a Super Bowl? I just don't see that happening. You know what I mean? If you're going to trade him, if he's going to be a whiny little bitch, send him to Detroit, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, all right,
the Jets.
You got what you wanted. Here you go. Yeah, the Jets. Yeah. Go play with Zach Wilson as your quarterback and no direction, a terrible front office. Mm-hmm. Enjoy. Hope you get what you wanted. Like, I don't know. You look at guys like Tom Brady and Cooper Kupp. I mean, why isn't Cooper Kupp bitching and moaning? You know why? Because he's got a winning attitude. He's not selfish. He's not thinking, I got to make as much money as possible. No, he wants to be on a winning team. He's still making tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And winning is more important. and he wants to be on a good team with stability and a good front office and a good head coach and a good quarterback. Like, those things are more important to people with a winning mentality like Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp should be at the front of the line for the gigantic contract, right? But he doesn't care. He's super happy because he just won a Super Bowl and he wants to keep winning them. And he knows that they're not going to be able to keep winning them if the team spends all the fucking money on one wide receiver. So, guys like that, organizations like that, yeah, it's tons of respect for. People that just fucking, get me out of here. I'm not making enough.
On that
No
same
respect.
On that same note, Tom fucking Brady does it again. He restructured his contract again, opening up like $6 million in the salary cap for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So that guy is just always thinking, another fucking ring. That's all I want. I mean, he could have demanded so much more money throughout his career, but
so much.
They probably have less ownership. They could have just said, "Here, you own 50% of the fucking team. Please be our quarterback."
Right. You are officially a Kraft.
Speaking of owning teams, they're all right. There's a particular shitty NFL owner out there. I think we all know who it is. The man that owns the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins. They're digging up some new dirt on this son of a bitch. You hear about this?
No, but fill me in, dude. I love a good Dan Snyder hit piece.
Well, yeah, I mean, any chance to take a shit on this, just miserable human being. But from the details, when you go through all the, I've looked at a few articles regarding this, and they don't really give you a whole lot. All you can really make out of it is that there is some funny financial shit going on. They apparently have two separate books that basically have two different scenarios for how they're handling their finances, which is odd because you should only have one, not two, that are different. And I've just recently learned that every single NFL game, all of the gate money, which is, of course, all the ticket sales, 40% of that goes into a league-wide pool. And the stinky, disgusting Commanders organization has been siphoning money out of that and setting it aside, so they haven't needed to provide all 40%. I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, obviously, if there's any truth to this shit, if there's any truth to that, then not only is that a federal offense, but that's hands down the zero tolerance policy you'd have to assume for NFL owners.
I would hope so.
And he's got to go. So there's a chance that see how this all unfolds in the coming weeks and months. But there's a chance that we could be witnessing the last season with that shitty human being as the owner of the Washington football team. So we'll see.
I love it.
I hope it leads in that direction. But again, any chance to take a shit on that guy, I'm all for it, and I really do hope it starts leading in the direction of him being ousted as the team's owner. Because what better way to get a nice breath of fresh air than starting fresh with an owner who can let the football people do the football shit.
Right. I know. Get out of the way, right? That's wild. I had not heard that story at all until right now. That's fucking crazy. And yeah, if there is even an ounce of truth in that, he's fucking gone. He's fucking gone. Like, NFL owners, it's a fucking good old boys club, but like, they're not going to tolerate siphoning money. Like, not a chance.
Money that's supposed to be shared amongst all of them. So you're fucking over your colleagues. Yeah, I know. Hey,
yeah, he's done.
I wouldn't put it past him. He's a stingy, sneaky, lying sack of shit. So again, I hope it is true, and I hope they do, throw the book at him, and he has to relinquish ownership of the team, even though technically his wife owns it. Don't give me that shit. We know what's going on. We're not falling for it.
Wow. All right.
Well, I guess. I mean, did you want to
Yeah, I
dive
mean,
into the NFL draft or?
well, is our special? Can you check with Anderson? Is our special guest on the line?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, he's still waiting in the green room, and we are about to be
Okay.
joined by who was supposed to be our second guest, but he decided to sign on for the 10th episode spectacular. Talk a little NFL draft with us. Who does he like? What's his draft philosophy? Has he ever been in a war room? These are questions. I know he hasn't really been, a front office guy, but hey, he's probably been allowed to sit in a room or two. So
I
it's
mean,
time.
yeah, with a
NFL
legacy
Hall of
like his.
Famer joining us now to talk a little NFL draft. Dan Marino, getting him on the. Wait, hold on. Oh,
Oh
no.
no, no!
Oh.
God damn it!
Well, you're not going to believe this, but Anderson just broke the news to me that he bowed out. He was in the
Fuck.
green room waiting his turn. I don't know if we took too long. I don't know if he just simply was not impressed with the material he was seeing and didn't want to be any part of it. But unfortunately, Dan Marino has backed out. He will not be our first guest, who was originally scheduled to be our second guest of our 10th episode spectacular. So really sorry to the viewers out there that we couldn't bring that to you, but which is a shame because I don't know about you, but
That's a damn shame.
I didn't have a whole lot written down on my draft notes.
Oh, I got nothing.
I did a pretty bad
Dude,
job.
you and I talked about this recently, where I feel like it is the least amount that I've paid attention to the NFL draft in years, and that's crazy because my Giants, here he is, Danny Dimes. We're picking fifth and seventh, and it's like I barely know what's going on. So I know that there's a lot of talk about moving pieces. Nobody seems to be on the same page. I've looked at a few mock drafts in the last like week or two, but none of the experts have even a similar looking breakdown of what they think is going to happen. So I think it's just going to be fucking tune in and see what the hell happens. I think I brought this up last week. As long as the Giants can get a really great offensive lineman with one of their two top picks, I'm happy. And right now, it looks like Kadarius Toney is going to be on the trading block for the Giants. If we can use him to leverage something and trade back, I'm happy too. So I have no idea what's going on. We need Dan Marino right now. So it's really unfortunate that he backed out on us. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on the draft?
No, I didn't have a whole lot penciled in because, again, I'm just thinking Dan Marino, Hall of Famer, is going to fill most of this time slot for us. But no, I mean, this is really the first draft in a very long time where I've had zero interest. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with just a lot of the team spirit of my Washington football team being sucked out of me over the past 2 to 3 years, and now officially being renamed the Commanders. There's just way too much going on. I'm usually solely invested in, okay, what are they going to do in their first and second round? What could we really use? And I like to do a little, pre-draft scouting myself. I'll get into it. I'll throw out a name. I like to throw out a name. And I say, yeah, that's the guy I hope they pick. And really throughout the last 10 to 15 years, I'd say overall I'm about 70% on my first round pick predictions, which ain't that bad. They've thrown some curveballs at me, of course, as teams will do, because you don't know every single player that they're looking at. But this year, that is not the case. I have not been scouting any players or putting my list together, or there really is no one particular player that I'd say, you know what, I really hope they end up drafting that kid. I do know that I want it to be a playmaker. I'd love to see a wide receiver stud or a running back / wide receiver, one of those versatile type guys like another Antonio Gibson. I mean, I wouldn't be against just a freakish tight end, if there happens to be one of those guys. Again, I know they are not, dime a dozen. They're rare to find those freakish tight ends. But if there's one out there, that's worth an 11th pick in the first round. So as long as it's a playmaker, that's all I care about. But I have not really jumped into it. Both feet, super excited. I'm just not there right now. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe this is the year I'll actually be pleasantly surprised because I didn't really give a shit,
Yeah, that's
a good
fair.
strategy moving forward.
I've got a great draft story that it's my number one memory of, because we used to watch a lot of drafts together way back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And just rip a shit ton of beers and get wasted and watch the draft. I think this was even back when the draft was on Saturday and Sunday, right? They did the first 4 rounds or first 3 rounds on Saturday. And the
draft would start at noon on Saturdays. Yep.
And we would just day drink all day. I remember at the very end of the college football season, I want to say it was 2011. It was whatever year Cam Newton was drafted, but it was at the end of the season, and we were already looking forward to the draft. And you said the Redskins had the 10th pick that year, and you said, "I'd love it if the Redskins drafted Cam Newton." And everyone laughed at you because people like Mel Kiper in their mock drafts had Cam Newton as a 3rd or 4th rounder or something. And you were like, I'd love to see him take him with our 10th overall pick. And everyone laughed at you. And then that year he fucking went, this was 5 months later or whatever. Yeah. He went number 1 overall.
Yep.
And I'll never forget that because people were everyone we were hanging out with was just giving you so much shit for that because Mel Kiper was like, "Oh, Cam Newton doesn't have the right. Oh, he's not accurate enough. Oh, he doesn't have the work ethic, whatever." And you're like, "Oh, I'd love to draft that guy 10th overall." And we were like, "What? He's going to be in a 3rd rounder." So that's my favorite draft memory with you back in the day.
They didn't think his style of play would translate well into the NFL, from what I can recall. That was the big thing about it. He's and
dude, I didn't hear a word you just said. Sorry.
Oh no! You hear me now?
I can hear you now, but I missed everything you said.
This is our 10th episode spectacular. I know. Okay, we don't have time for this shit. All right,
these things are not supposed to be happening. I know.
Well, what I said was not that important, but the whole idea was that,
Thank God.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything big. In fact, what we have coming up next is much bigger, and you know what that is.
That's very true.
We're just going to get in some other hot topics. We're moving out. I think it's safe to say we can move out of the draft talk, right? I mean, come on. Our guest bailed on us. We don't know shit. Okay. We admittedly know nothing. We are ill prepared for next week's draft, but there was some interesting news regarding quite a famous heavyweight boxing champion this past week. Apparently, Iron Mike was involved in a bit of a scuffle on an airplane that was sitting on the tarmac. How much did you hear about this, Josh?
Yep. Well, you were actually the one who told me about it. I had to look it up. But yeah, dude, wild. People just think that they can talk shit to anybody because we're all invincible, and violence isn't a thing anymore. It's all kumbaya. So you can just talk shit to whoever, and even Mike Tyson, and not get the shit kicked out of you. But that was proven wrong on that aircraft, and I am extremely happy about it because that little cunt needed his shit kicked in.
Well, who better to ask than the man himself. That's right. Joining us now is the first boxer to ever win the WBA, WBC, and IBF championships simultaneously. It is heavyweight champion Iron Mike Tyson. And now, hold on. No, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You're fucking kidding? Well, the tail is between the legs because our third and final guest has also bailed. I don't know what to say. I apologize to everyone. This is our 10th episode spectacular. It was not supposed to go down like this. Again, a lot of time we had slotted for these guys, and one by one they drop. They want nothing to do with Brash Sports and the 10th episode spectacular.
Damn.
So I was really hoping to ask Mike exactly how that all played out and what went down, and get his side of the story.
In my opinion, we saved the best guest for last. I was really excited to talk to Mike about fucking everything. The Tigers, the Hangover, dude, just everything, man. And it's really that one really hurts. Like Magic Johnson, yeah, prison.
So what was prison
Dan
like?
Marino, Mike Tyson though, fuck. I wanted to ask him what it felt like to beat the shit out of that whiny little prick on the plane.
Well, if you haven't heard of this story, do yourself a favor, look up a picture of this douchebag, because he definitely just looks like somebody that deserves a solid punch to the head, and he got a good one. And I'm sure he deserved every bit of it. So thank you, Mike Tyson, for punching that guy in the face for all of us.
He needed it. Yeah, he needed. He had one of these faces.
Oh yeah, he was just like that. He was he was doing the face.
He was.
Like,
he was. You just want to punch anybody that makes that face.
Oh, where's the Bruce? And just add on to it. I was right there. What a loser! All right. Well, we're cutting it close. It's amazing with we might not be able to get into one of these stories, Josh.
I'll give Mike a call later and thank him personally.
We might have to save our last topic for next episode because we're cutting time pretty close. We have to break down last week's parlay, get into our new parlay. So time's been flying by, even though all of our guests have been calling out. Should be saving us time, but 10th episode spectacular. Flying by. Can you hear me? Did I lose you again?
Yep, absolutely. I am lagging like a motherfucker. Let's get into the parlay.
All right. Well, real quick, we don't have to break it down too much, but just to recap last week's parlay, we finished 3-3. Can you hear me? Did I lose you again? Oh no. It's lagging. It's lagging that much. All right. Well, this will be interesting when I go to edit. All right. So last week we went 3-3. I'll just keep rolling here.
Keep rolling.
You went 1-2. I went 2-1. I'm actually happy you went 1-2 because had you not and you swept the board, it would have come down to the Bulls-Bucks game. So, which was my heavy underdog, and they would have completely shit the bed for all of us. So I'm happy that didn't happen because I didn't want to be the one to ruin it yet again. So we'll just, hey. Time is saved for the winners, not the losers. So let's get into it right now. Let's get into the 10th episode spectacular Brash Sports Weekend Parlay. Brash Sports Weekend Parlay. Brought to you by cryptocurrency. We don't know what it is either.
Let's fucking do it, buddy. I'm hearing you a lot better now. I could hear you really well when you were breaking down last week's parlay. Great job with that. This week, I feel like we have a much better fighting chance. So Do you want to jump in? Do you want to start us off with a favorite, or do you want me to lead the way with who I got as a favorite?
Sure, you lead the way with your favorite for this week.
All right, perfect. So, heading back to basketball, my basketball record has sucked this year for everything recorded. Off the record, pretty good. But on the record, shit. If you only listened to this podcast and only knew me for my basketball picks here, you'd think I didn't know a goddamn thing. But I'm feeling like a good, strong comeback this week. For my favorite, I love the Warriors, minus 177 to bust out the brooms and sweep those shitty little turd nuggets right out of the arena. I teased it a little bit earlier. There's no way the Warriors lose. I could see that it being a close game, so I don't necessarily trust the spread. I think it's about 5 points. Give me the Warriors straight up as a favorite in the 6-leg parlay, minus 177. They're gonna win. They're busting out the brooms. They want a little rest before their next series, so they're gonna finish them off. I believe that game's tomorrow.
All right, my favorite.
Who do you got?
My favorite. I am going emotional hedge on this one, and of course, it is associated with my boys in blue, Manchester City.
Okay.
They are in a title race coming down to the wire against Liverpool FC. Liverpool is in the Merseyside Derby on Sunday, tomorrow, at 11:30 Eastern Time. They're at home in Anfield against Everton. I got Liverpool winning this one comfortably, 3-0, 4-0. Give me Liverpool, heavy favorite, minus 560 against Everton at home.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Emotional hedges are always great. I always bet against the Giants the first 2 weeks of the season. I think they've gone 0-2 their past like 8 seasons. So, you know, when we get into September, you'll be seeing me emotionally hedging against the Giants every single week.
Good.
But let's move on to coin flips. Let's move into coin flips here. I have got the Bulls plus 4.5 at home against the Bucks. I think the Bucks win, but I think it's going to be a lot closer game than Vegas is giving them credit for. So even I could see the Bulls pulling it off at home, but even if the Bucks win, I think it's a close game. I think that 4.5 points is just too much. Give them to me. I want all of those fucking points. Bulls plus 4.5 against the Bucks to me feels like a really safe coin flip.
All right. Plus 4.5 at minus 113 is where that one is on the point spread.
Yep.
So, all right, my coin flip. We are headed back to Denver. We're going back to Ball Arena. We are going with the under in the under-over of the Warriors-Nuggets game. That over-under is currently sitting at 224.5. I am picking the under at a minus 110. No particular reason. The odds were exactly the same for both, so it's a genuine coin flip. But at 224.5, I felt like, you know what, that's the one to go under. And I'm with you. I do think the Nuggets are going to slip up a little bit. They might not even get to 100 points in this one. So let's go with the under at 224.5. And that is my coin flip.
I love that pick.
Moving on to underdogs, Josh.
I love that pick. Love that pick, Brandon. Underdogs, I'm going back to the well in the NHL. Mr. Hockey coming through with a lovely little underdog pick for you. It is the Columbus Blue Jackets sitting at plus 200 versus the Edmonton Oilers. The Blue Jackets were eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Oilers, I don't think have anything to play for, so I think they're going to be resting up their guys. I don't really know. This line honestly seems pretty crazy to me. I thought it would be much closer to a coin flip, if anything. So if we're getting plus 200 for a team that just wants to finish their season strong, even though they're not making the playoffs, versus a team that's going to be resting people, give me the fucking underdog all day. Plus 200, Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's fucking go. Mr. NHL, back in business, baby.
I like it. At home, the Columbus Blue Jackets. So
that's correct.
I like that underdog pick. I, on the other hand, am sticking with my Mr. Soccer bit. Going back to the English Premier League for my underdog. Picking a game that I normally would have zero interest in watching, but this will give me something to look forward to. I'm going to be tuning in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to watch Burnley versus Wolves. I am going with the plus 210 of a draw between Burnley and Wolves. Draws are not easy to pick.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's two shitty teams or one mediocre team and one shitty team, which we have in this case. Burnley Wolves draw at Turf Moor tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. There we go. That is this weekend's parlay, all happening on a Sunday because we're recording on a Saturday.
I love it.
For the 10th episode spectacular. So, hey, before we see everybody off, it is our 10th episode spectacular. So there's a couple things that the team put together. And of course we have our top moments voted on by you, our viewers. So thank you for giving your input, casting your votes. Let's go down this list, Josh. Let's start from the top. Actually, I guess technically we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. So I'll let you go through this list and how the votes resulted and where everything ended up being ranked for top moments of Brash Sports thus far.
Yeah. So all the fans of the show, thank you so much for your support. We had over 850 moments to choose from. Yeah. You guys whittled it down to your top 10 favorite. We got hundreds of thousands of votes tally in our system. So the support has just been tremendous. So thank you guys so much. But without further ado, all right, let's dive right into this top 10. Coming in at number 10, it was that one time Josh was on the right side. Coming in at number 9 was that one time Brandon was on the right side. Those are good times. At number 8 was that other time Josh was on the right side. I'll never forget that one. Number 7,
memories.
Number 7 was the exclusive sit-down interview with Brian Flores, Bill Belichick, and Roger Goodell. We somehow managed to get those three in a room together. It was a hell of an interview. Number 6 was when Johnny joined the show, which was another hell of an interview. So the fans have spoken. Great. They liked the Johnny interview better than the Flores, Belichick, Goodell interview. Number 5.
It's wild.
Coming in at number 5, we had when the Brash March Madness bracket had 0 teams in the Final Four. That was also very good times. I think Miami was the furthest team we had making it, so everybody loved our bracket. We got a lot of great feedback, including one Twitter follower saying, "This shit is ass." So thank you for the feedback there. Coming in at number 4 is the Just Joshin graphic. Everybody's favorite. Quinn and Wang just doing amazing things there as our our graphic design interns that we brought on full time.
Yep.
Number 3 was Brandon's autographed Juwan Howard picture. We got tons of positive feedback on that.
Man.
Number 2 is one of my absolute favorite moments from the podcast so far. Old Man Jones. Just Old Man Jones, who's an absolute star of the show. And rounding out our top 10 at the number 1 position is the dramatic piano. We got so much positive feedback. I'm not surprised. They were the heavy favorite to win this, win the most votes. There it is. The dramatic piano closing out the top 10 in that number 1 spot. So Thank you so much, Dramatic Piano. And Brandon, do you want to lead us into the little montage that our graphic department made for us?
Yeah, our whole team actually had a part in making this for us. And so I just want to thank them ahead of time before we introduce this little piece that they put together to our viewers and our listeners. Actually, the listeners won't have any idea what's going on. You kind of have to see it to understand it. So without further ado, this is our 10th episode spectacular memoriam, if you will. Just looking back and reminiscing on our first 9 episodes. Well, I hope everyone enjoys it.
That just about settles it for Super Bowl week edition of our Brash Sports podcast.
Inaugural podcast.
I know, man.
We fucking did it, bro.
We did it, my friend.
I will remember you. Will you?
You know how I feel about raw women.
Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for.
Kind of
I
shit,
am not.
you're Brash.
I'm a good man, all right? I know. I don't need some video telling me.
Remember the good times that we had. Let them slip away from us.
My dumbass won a softball. You ain't baseball game.
Really, I first saw you smiling in the sun. Wanna feel your warmth. Won't be the one. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for memory.
Whip that shit out. Swing it all over that bracket.
I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. Standing on the edge of something much too deep. It's funny how it feels so much, you cannot say a word. We are screaming inside, oh, we can't be heard. But I will remember you. Will you remember me?
Well,
What?
Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories.
Wow. I know, man. That was, it's.
Whew, heavy stuff.
I'm happy to have been a part of it. You know, I'm happy to have such a great team around me, and so many people here at Brash Sports that care, man. They care
No
about
doubt.
us. They care about the material, the product. You know, they're working so
Damn right.
hard every week to make sure we put out the most quality podcast we possibly can, and it's nice to take a little trip down memory lane, if you will.
Absolutely.
And just you know, think of the long, windy road that we had to take and transverse in order to make it here to our 10th episode spectacular. So
I couldn't have said it any better myself, Brandon. Well, thank you, and thank everybody that helped us get here. I think we should sign off, call it a day, but we'll be back next week for our 11th episode spectacular, and I can't wait until then. So
all right, my friend. Talk to you soon. Peace.
A celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate.